Hi everyone, it's Linda from LindaZ in Arlington Heights, Illinois. I am here with a fun project called Miyako. I don't know if you've heard about it before, but it has been very popular in Japan. And one of the wonderful things about the little bags that we're going to show today, you can see it's Miyako, I guess that's Miyako. These are the leather straps that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to just show you a couple little things about making the bag. The person that really made this popular, of course it's centuries old in Japan, where they tie the bags and they carry it on their shoulders and do all kinds of things, but there's a wonderful designer in France, and we actually happened to meet her. She has about, I don't know, quite a few little boutiques scattered throughout France and smaller, like Provence and smaller little towns. I know there's one or two in Paris. And what she does is she has gotten a hold of these, and I think she's designed them, from what I understand, the actual leather handles. And the Miyako name is on the top of the leather bag. And I do have behind me a couple that I've made. In fact, I've made one that is right here. I want to show it to you because I think it's really fun. You can see I made the shirt. This is Kaffe Fassett fabric, and I'm sewing on a Kaffe Fassett machine today, and I'm going to show you the front in a moment. But what's so great about this bag is that it's very easy to do. Now, I happen to have a seam here. I normally put this on the fold, but I use this out of the scraps of the shirt. So it's very fun to be able to buy a little extra fabric and then, you know, either make a little bag or make a scarf. I did that on a couple of my other shirts. And this particular video is going to be all about showing you how to do this. I'm going to sew a couple of little seams. I'm not going to go into real depth because I teach a whole entire session on this. That's about an hour, that is teaching you step by step on the bag, and that's in our sew club. So those of you that belong to our clubs, that will be coming up this fall, and you'll see this bag. There's 3 bags that we're going to show, and they will really be, you'll be able to easily make them when we're finished and do what I'm doing. On the handle here, there's a little indentation. It's stamped into the leather, and these are leather straps, and they're so comfortable. And I just put it right under my arm, and it's just fabulous for all kinds of things. This particular one that I'm making here, see if I've already sewn it together, but you can see the front. I've sewn part of it together. This is exactly the fabric that's on the machine. We were just able to get 1 bolt, and somehow I was able to get 1 yard before it got sold. So we do have more coming in, but it is just, I think, a gorgeous fabric, and it's one that has been very popular because Kaffe Fassett, who is a renowned artist, who, again, this is one of his designs too. Kaffe has, I think, probably one of the most creative men in the artistic fiber world. In the fabric industry, he's known for his bright colors and how he combines color. I hope you will learn a lot from him because he will take a color and then go ahead and play with that on your own quilts. His color combinations are just wonderful, and they will really work if you start working the color line. So what I'm going to do today is I started with this little bag that I have an actual pattern. Let's see if I can find that. This is a pattern. It's a Miyako pattern. You can purchase that on our website, and it goes into these 3 bags. The one I'm doing here, I didn't make it quite as full. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can make a small one, like the one that I'm showing you here. This one, I'm going to show you a couple of variations of it. You could do this one, which has got, and I clipped these on here so they wouldn't fall off. This is another variation of it, and this happens to have the little buckles on the side. And I'll show you how to put those on in a moment. But this fabric is actually from her boutique. We bought a couple of her actual ready-made bags. It was hard to do because even at wholesale, if you have any idea what her boutiques charges, these are very popular in Europe. Actually, they're in lots of different countries right now. And this particular bag was over $300. you could make this particular bag for a yard of fabric and then another yard of fabric for your lining, so about $20 some. And then of course you have to buy the belt, but it's a lot less than, you know, what you would buy when you would go into a boutique. Then I have another one here that's really kind of fun too. Just clip this on here so we don't lose it. And then this particular one is, I have a shirt that also matches this, and I am going to do a video just on the shirts because I think this would be a simple thing for you to use. And some of the techniques that I'm using on the actual bag here are also something that you will be able to do with your shirts. I'm taking this out. This is really a great one because it's got these two little openings right here on either side of the handle. And what I did on this particular one, and that's what these are in the front, and this is a small one for just grabbing the bag. They use this for groceries, for notions, for everything. I mean, you can't even imagine the stuff that people will put in these. And again, this is that little point, like you can see that I'm doing here. And you could, and what some of the Japanese people have done in the past, they've just tied it, made it longer, and then put it over like that. This is so much better with the leather strap. It just really adds to the bag and makes it really look wonderful. I always take one of Kaffe, if I'm making a Kaffe fabric, I take one of his fabrics and I actually line it with the back so that I have something really fun. Any one of his fabrics, I'm kind of looking to see, I haven't figured out what I'm going to line this with yet, but it'll be something probably in the pink tones or maybe that, what I call the vintage green tone. So the technique is using this, I'm using a 1/4 inch foot because I'm just doing a 1/4 inch seam here. And if you notice in the back, I actually have the dual feed. This is a number 10D foot. It's a great foot for quilting, but if you're doing a cotton fabric and you want just a quick little 1/4 inch seam, I'm not even overcasting these seams because of the fact that this is going to be lined, it's going to be on the inside, and there's really not going to be any problem with the fraying. So I've almost finished. I'm going to go right up to the edge, and you can see this 1/4 inch foot follows the edge, so it's very, very easy to do. I have my little clips that are easy to take off. You definitely want clips or pins when you're doing this because it really does, you don't want to go off that point. So when I come right up to the point, the 1/4 inch is guiding me right to the end. And look at how beautiful that machine is that I can cut it, you know, I can go right off the end. Now I will take this to the Laura Star, and before I do anything, and then see, look at the difference between, see if I can put this up, Nick, and they can see this. The difference between this seam and this seam. See, there's a little bit of a ripple, not much because I had that dual feed on. But because of this, it really works nice. You probably know that we have this wonderful warehouse in our wonderful video studio that is a beautiful, beautiful room in our warehouse. So occasionally you'll hear our trucks coming in, and that was just one of them. So if you're wondering what that beeping is, it's not the iron. It was one of the trucks picking up more wonderful machines to go to somebody's house, which is a good feeling, right? As long as I'm over here, I want to show you. This is an OESD. They have two, I believe we have no, this one's an R&K Floriani tool, and I just love it because you can go through. It's got a real nice long handle. Look at how beautiful that corner is. I mean, I haven't even pressed it yet on the outside, and it really, really turned out nice. And the same thing with the other corner. You don't want to go all the way through. You got to be careful when you're poking out a corner. But look at how nicely this looks in this fabric. I mean, it's going to be so pretty. I could just take the same fabric and cut the same pattern, and then I wouldn't have any differentiation on the inside or the outside. But I kind of like what, and you see I'm pressing this. I'm kind of going up and down because I don't want it to move. I want that seam to be nice and firm and real simple. And then I'm going to put the other one inside. This will go inside, and then I will sew all the way around the top, leave a little opening, turn it to the front, and I'm done. And that's all there is to this. A very, very simple little bag. I'm going to bring it over here though, because I want you to see what it looks like with the machine. I know, Nick, I'm hopping all over the place with your cameras, but look at how beautiful that is. I mean, I wish I had been able to get more of this, but it's really, really beautiful. Let me get a little bit better light in here so you can see it. Let's see how it's exactly the same fabric as what's on the machine. Now, I would like to show you the bag that I was talking about that I think is so fabulous. I have my own fabric again. This is another Kaffe fabric. And I think you can see it here. It was the same as this one that I was talking about that matches that. It's just a square. And what's great about it is because it is a square, it's very simple to do. And you can see on this particular fabric, what I've done is all I have done is edged the seam on the inside. That's all I've done, is done a nice little 1/4 inch seam. It's not a rolled hem, it's a hem that is turned on the inside and stitched on the right side. I mean on the wrong side. You could do it on the right side too, but this is so much easier to do with a number 10 foot on the inside. And when you have this perfect stitch quality that Bernina has, and I'll show you this side too, you can see that it really doesn't matter if you're sewing it on the right side or the left side. So what's the easiest for you? Of course, the inside. And then when you're done with that, I'm going to show you what to do. So let me show you the stitch, because again, I have probably, or Bernina has, probably about 6 different feet that would work for this edge like this. But the first thing you want to do, and I have this great knee lift lever here that is going to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and go about 1/8 of an inch. That's all I need to do, 1/8. It depends on how wide you want your hem. If you want it a little bit wider, then go to 1/4 inch. So let me do it 1/4 inch so you can see it. And then we're just going to turn that. I'm not using my rolled hem feet. I do have a flat roll hem foot. There's some really, really wonderful ones. If you have the Bernina foot book, you'll know what I'm talking about. But what I'm doing here is I'm just sewing right along the edge of the fabric. And I could do this on either the right or the wrong side. I'm doing it on the wrong side so you can see it a little bit easier. I go up to the end. Again, I can sew off this. That's what's so amazing about this machine. Now you can see this seam very easily here. And if you don't happen to have an iron, the iron is the most important part as far as I'm concerned. You could take this and just press it with your finger, or with your, if you have one of the Alex Anderson's pressing tools, it would also press with that. Fold this right over, and I'm going to change my foot now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that edge of this blade right along that seam. So this little black edge is running right along the fold of the fabric. And I switched my needle position just to 1 over. You can see that, well, I guess I've got a 2 over. I had it at 3 over. I don't need it quite that much. And especially if I'm doing and going around and going fast, which I do a lot, because then it's much easier for it to slip off slightly. So by putting it the 2 stitches over, see, the needle position actually went to the right, and this little black area here, I'll stop and cut this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can see this beautiful nice stitch on this side. They see that real closely here? Yeah. And then let me turn it over to the wrong side. Look at that. I mean, where would you find a beautiful stitch like that on both sides? This is this has been done all the way around, and look at how fast this is. I'm going to show you. You're going to fold this into a triangle, and that's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to tie us nice little on one side, and I'm going to do it on the other side. Wait till you see how fun this is. Then I'm going to open this up. This is going to go into the inside, and look at, I now have a bag. And all I'm going to do is take and hook this on to these straps. I'm going to do one quick demonstration of the straps, and then I think you'll catch it when you see it from someplace. You'll see it in your patterns. We'll have these patterns on the website so that you can see where they go, you know, exactly how to do the design. I go in from the back like this. I'm going to go around to the back of the strap. I'm going to go from the front into this other stitch and pull it, and look at how gorgeous that is. And that's what I'm doing on the other side, exactly the same. And that's how you get this beautiful look where we have a fun little bag with a little polka dots on the inside here. So again, I hope this has been helpful to you. The people that want to have a little more information on these straps are very hard to get. They do come from France, from this boutique, and I would encourage you to place your orders. We'll have them on the website. Have fun this week. Try out some of these projects. They have just been so wonderful just for because you can complete them in a very short amount of time. Thanks again for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks, everyone.